So, long time no see. It's been 2 weeks, but felt like a few days. I see there are already people. Yeah, thanks. So how was your weeks, this 2 weeks? How are you doing? So I see for some it was uneventful few weeks, but for some people quite busy. In my case it was kind of busy as well. I'm glad that you're here today. I was so I don't know how to say it, overwhelmed with stuff that I got to do, that I even didn't announce this stream, and now there's still people. Nice. So it's going to be our cozy little secret stream. So to without losing any time, let's dive into this thing. What are we going to do today? Or we are going to finish it. Oops, sorry. We're going to finish this artwork, and I will go through certain like tips and tricks and approaches that I used to create this artwork. Usually when I'm in the process, it's hard for me to actively comment on stuff that I do. But since this illustration is almost finished, I think we're going to finish it pretty quick, and then I'll be able to talk more about it. What I use and why, and from the emotional tips and tricks to just plain technical. Okay then, so I'm also trying to figure out the best like audio for this stream, and I'm not sure if looping this background track is would still be fine. I found this like copyright-free playlist on YouTube, and I can turn it on, and you tell me if it's going to be nice, some kind of lo-fi something, I don't know, or I can leave this background track just on the loop. So you tell me if you want to try this copyright-free playlist or this track just looped. For those who are maybe listening right now or in the future, I will read some comments to easier to follow. Remington says, I will attempt to draw during stream as well. I have a massive art block, so it will be interesting. Do you have an art block sometimes? Yes, I do, and more often than I'd want to, but usually it is a struggle. But what I found is the best solution is to not to push it, but give yourself more experience, emotional or any kind of experience. Well, basically all the experience are emotional. Like to put away all your art stuff and just give yourself like a day or two of something new, unique and interesting that might recharge yourself. Okay, let's try this lo-fi something. I hope it'll work. So you tell me if you hear the music, if it's loud enough or quiet, I don't know. And oops. So you tell me if it's not too loud. Okay. So let's return to the idea of this artwork. Yeah. So the idea for this artwork was to create this sort of getaway safe place for these people, and this artwork is supposed to give this safe, hopeful feeling. and we gotta follow this idea. So so let's finish this people here. So in the beginning, I'm probably going to be talking less. As I said before, I'm kinda bad at multitasking, so it's hard for me to explain and be productive while illustrating. So let's just hop into this process, and then a bit later I will explain all this stuff. I'm not actually left-handed. For some reason my camera is just flipping the image, or I did it on purpose so it would be easier for me to position myself as a mirror, but no, I'm actually right-handed. Yep, this is supposed to be people sitting on top. I'm not sure with the exact pose yet. Yeah, I kinda agree. The characters being white is works best at the moment. So as soon as I'll figure out the exact position, there will be white definitely, and then we will see if maybe we will add some sort of maybe pinkish light bounce because it's sunrise and we have like white clouds with pink shadow. Maybe something like that will work for the characters as well. We'll see. Well, there's two reasons I look distressed in the thumbnail. The first one is I wanted to cover two things. The first one is to make, as people call it, like a YouTube face, something that attracts attention. And the second part, I also wanted to for it to be, while being this YouTube face, being something that reflects how I feel and the content of the stream. So that's why I kinda how do I say it, represented the idea of me losing control over this thing, and the all art stuff are pouring from it, and I'm kinda not knowing what to do with it. So that was the whole idea. When is the indie night? This is a nice question. I'm trying to figure out what would be the best streams, and even though the current streams are far from perfect, we're trying to figure what would be the best content for the stream, which also would be like I would love to do, and there will be people who are interested in the content. And for the previously we did a poll. It is how it's called. Like basically, people voted for ideas for the stream, and before that was the Unreal Engine tips, which was like a test stream for how we can discuss the tips and tricks for the Unreal Engine. And the second voted theme was the drawing something live and then explaining how I did this, which we're doing right now. And the gaming was the least of the votes for this streaming thing. And I think after this we'll vote again and we'll find something new. Maybe we'll make a game, or maybe new Unreal discussion or something else. We'll see. I feel like this position would be better, because when we see the legs that are over, like over this contrast area, it's easier to spot that it's actually people there. Before that, when they sit like with their backs turned to us, they felt like blobs, like white blobs. Right now it's more like a white blobs with legs, which is better. What do you mean I'm not uploading videos anymore? What kind of videos? Well, I think I wasn't much of a video uploader before. I usually streamed, although I am trying to create sort of video series, but it takes a lot of time. We might even discuss it on a stream right now. It would be fun. So the idea is that I want to create a series of videos, short, but informative, and the idea of them to help people to, I think I talked about it before, to learn like the Unreal Engine, the visual programming, but in a fun way. What I mean, like, by fun, that since I learned Unreal Engine certain way, I created approach and the way I look at things while do little logic inside the game, and I wanted to share this because I remember myself 10 years ago. If someone would share something like that with me, I would be very happy. Yes, and the thing is to give people more like ideas rather than actual tutorials. So, because right now if you look at the tutorials, it is just like screen capture and the people explaining how to do the stuff exactly, and I want to more like explain the concepts. So the like 80% of the video would be not the screen capture of the engine, but more like visual explanations and stuff, and then like smaller part would be the actual screen capture. And I want to make it like in a interesting way. The closest resemblance is I don't know if you've seen this one. I think it's called Voyager or like Cosmos or something like that, by Carl Sagan. It was the book initially, and then it was like recreated as a 13 episodes show, basically, about how the world works. And the way it was done, it was just perfect. And I want to do something like that, but on a much smaller scale, and about the gaming in general, like the logic in the Unreal Engine, to help people to find tools to create their ideas, because usually designers are stuck with finding programmers who could do logic, but I realized that you can easily do prototypes yourself if you look at things in a correct way. Not like in a correct, but more like in a useful way. So that's what I'm trying to do. Even like to donate money or what? I think there's no such option for this stream. Well, I thought about creating a Patreon or something, but the thing is, I don't think that I produce enough content to support something like that, or the quality of the content is high enough. Maybe when I'll finish the series, or maybe at least I start to producing parts of it or something like that, maybe, but at the moment I don't feel like the stuff I do are consistent and valuable enough to be on Patreon or YouTube membership or whatever. Well, even though you missed the first hour, it's still great that you're here, and we're discussing some stuff. And for those who are joining, what we're doing here is we're going to finish this thing, and then I will explain the tips and tricks or the ideas behind stuff that I used here, because when in the process of drawing, it's hard for me to explain stuff on the go because I must be in a space, but after I finish it I will explain. And for now we're finished kinda or almost or finished this couple of people sitting there having time of their life, I guess, kinda. Yes, correct. I stream usually if there's no unexpected situations. I usually stream once 2 weeks. Once once in 2 weeks. So basically 2 times a month. So after this stream we're going to have 2 weeks, well, less than that, to decide what's going to be next. So I guess what the last thing we're supposed to decide on is what kind of basically how these characters climb up there. Maybe not full the actual like path, possible path, but more of a general idea, so we would feel like there is a way, but we're not sure how they did it. Some sort of like maybe like a rope hanging from somewhere, or maybe the like ladder or something. What do you think, by the way, how these people could climb up there? Yeah, the steps is nice idea. I'm trying to find this balance of not to overload the image with the information. Let me show you what I mean. Maybe something like I don't know, like there's stuff that some of them are broken, some of them not, but they also go like twisting. Maybe we should add something that supposed to be some sort of quick fix for this thing to not fall down, because its legs are rusty and not rusty but old, like tired metal, and it's just slowly collapsing. But maybe we can add something like, I'm not sure, not to overload the image, and then something like that. But the cable is snapped or something, and it's just out there, something like that. So I feel like that's it. So let's just talk through what this image is about. What are the main elements? Why are they here? And why are they look the way they look? And then I will, after that, I will jump over some techniques that I use. I'm not claiming that all the techniques that I'm using I invent myself, I'm not sure, but okay, then let's just dissect this image, why it looks the way it looks, why there's stuff the way they are. By the way, after the stream I will post this image in proper quality in the Discord chat. Not like chat, but we have this channel for artworks of any sort, and I will post it there for everyone to download. By the way, I'm using this image as a background image for my phone, but at the moment I'm using my phone as a camera. But yeah, turned out that this very tall vertical design was almost perfect for the phone background image. Okay, then let's go through why it is the way it is and why it is important to keep your idea intact through whole process. So every step that you take, you could ask yourself, is this step brings me closer to the original vision or takes me further? And no matter how good it looks or how interesting it looks, if it takes you further from your idea, just don't use it. Maybe remember it and use it in a different situation. But sometimes it's tempting to place something that is beautiful but do not work for the idea, which ruins like the trying to pursuing the idea of placing something beautiful, or might ruin your whole image if it's not brings you closer to the vision. Okay, so the vision was to create the image of this thanks, Remington. So the idea here was to depict somewhat like a safe space and inspiring, and yeah, I think the safe space is the main idea behind it. And this image contains like the main character of this image basically is this, I don't know how do you call it, like electric transformer or something that is quite old, and looking at the state of this thing, probably not much people here visiting it because it's quite old and we're not even sure if it's working or not. Because as you can see, its legs are collapsing and the supporting, even one of the supporting cables snapped, so nobody fixing it. And that's why this is a perfect getaway place for these characters who are sitting here and chilling talking about stuff, like pointing at stuff and discussing something. Since we want to depict this calm and safe environment, the early morning is have this safe idea when everything is quiet, but it's not night, it's already getting brighter, but still it's quiet. That's why the early morning for this image was the perfect contender. Then again, you can see this clouds here. The idea of adding these clouds serves multiple purposes. First of all, it helps bring the illusion of this transformer being very huge. At first you're like cannot actually measure the size, but then you see like small trees at the bottom and the even smaller bicycles, and then like tiny people on top of it. So to emphasize the size of this thing, we added the clouds, which creates the feeling that this thing is very high, very tall, because clouds are like going through it. Like the same thing happens with mountains. Then also clouds create this almost like a dreamlike appearance, which also serves the purpose of this like a safe getaway place for these characters. And also the way the clouds lit, and the color and the contrast light also brings out the idea of early morning, because this pinkish color is very morning like colors. Sorry for repeating the same words again and again. Okay. Also, what are the let's check the ground here. As you can see, it is not flat but rounded, which and the trees are looking somewhat behind this hill, and the idea here as well, like rounded surface creates feeling that this thing much taller, like they emphasize the hugeness of this thing, and also idea like of the being on the top of the hill also seems like a safe getaway place, and since the trees are behind it, we feel like this is like a very secure hill, which also emphasizes this safe space. Also, as you can see, this image is quite thin and very tall, and this aspect ratio of the image also can work for you or against you. In this case, we decided to make it thin and tall, not only to focus viewer on this transformer, like being in the center of the image, but also emphasize this, again, being quite tall, and because basically most of the image is like sky, which also give this feeling of calmness and the dreamlike state. And these characters are basically, they're like chilling in the clouds in the sky, which also give this safe thing. So that's why creating this very tall image with almost like only sky above, create this lightness and safety for viewer and for the characters. Yeah, I'm done with the image for those who are just joined, and I will go through the main ideas why the stuff look the way they are, to help how do I say it, to basically decode tips and tricks for the reaching your vision. So how aspect ratio, colors, and other stuff can help you emphasize the vision and the importance of the initial vision and following it. Okay. Again, this right now we discussed like the general shapes and stuff of the of this scene. Let's go with I think let's go with colors a little bit, and then go more deeper into the story of this thing. So again, our idea here was to create this safe, dreamlike environment for the viewer. That's why the colors supposed to be very comforting. So that's why we have light green, pink, and basically like this is the main colors, like light green and pink, but they have all these different shades like bluish and reddish, but basically it's just pink and green, which both are quite like safe, if you call it colors. Then let's just a little bit dive into this story. So when I create drawing, I feel like it is much easier to create something compelling if you are trying to submerge yourself into the thing you're trying to create, so that everything would make sense and why it's here, and create some sort of life inside the image. So here we have, and the thing is, it's not everything supposed to be like clear and understandable for the viewer, but if you know this thing, how do I say it? If you know the story inside this world, even if it's just one single image, and you create stuff based on this story, the viewer would feel it without understanding all the elements. So I will explain what I feel about this thing and what kind of world is this, and that's why it helped me to add certain elements like these elements and this numbers and all the other stuff. So as I see it, this is like a somewhat distant future, and the progress at some point stopped when people reached certain technological level and they couldn't do more. Basically they stopped and it's not like they felt like they need to, and what they trying to do here is they trying to preserve as much as possible of the old technology and repurpose it for the new one. and that's why, like, basically this is a very old transformer, but they quick fixed it and added this basically antenna to communicate, so to distantly connect to the thing and get information from it. Also in this world they trying to, how does, like, I don't remember the correct word for it. Basically what they're trying to do is to how would I say it in English? I don't remember the word, but I explained what I mean. So what they're trying to do here is they trying to basically I don't remember the word. Wait, give me a second. How this stuff called when you have a lot of things and then you number each thing and then you put it in a like filing cabinet? How do you call this thing? If someone comes up with the word, please send it to the chat, because I couldn't find the proper word for it. So they try to basically assign a number to everything so they can reference it later, like regions, items, everything. And this transformer have this J15 number. And if you look at my some of my previous work at ArtStation, I'm not sure if it's not stacking, but like catalogizing. I'm not sure, like to create a catalog of everything. Like I'm not sure. So if you look at my older, like previous works, there's a few of them, and you could see a similar pattern, like the numbers and stuff, because recently I created this in one universe. So and I guess well, let's back on track. So the creating the world, even if it's just a single image, it's really important to create something compelling that viewer would feel. And again, in this world, I trying to usually create cables white color, because it is, even though their progress stopped, they reached a certain level in technology, which is more comfortable and less harmful for environment, and that's why I like to draw cables white and this antennas white as well, to emphasize this futuristic feel, almost as if like robots build this, but it's people, but the technology is like basically to show the advancement of the technology. So yeah, I think categorizing, or maybe cataloging would be something along those lines. So, and as you can see, these characters use like just bicycles. From here we're not sure if it's like futuristic bicycles or normal bicycles, but I feel like it's just normal bicycles, because, as I said, they live in this futuristic world where progress has stopped at a certain point, and they have this huge constructions with antennas, but they still use like bicycles and stuff, because they trying to live more environment friendly life while trying to preserve old technology as much as possible. So this is the idea of this world, and these characters, they, as I feel it, like they somewhat not like lost, but they feel somewhat overwhelmed or something. So they use this place to as a like a safe spot. As you can see, there's like bicycle tracks, because they've been there multiple times, and they probably climb over this cable. Who knows how they climb up there? And maybe there's like a trapdoor, and they go through this thing inside, and there's maybe another trapdoor on the top of it, and they go out on the roof. Who knows? So that's why the thinking about the world is very important to create this compelling feeling. Next, and again, this small stuff like overgrown grass also give the idea of not a lot of people being here, and this thing is being old. And I guess this is the general. Oh yeah, also few things. I also added seagulls here flying, which I feel like white birds, like pigeons, or maybe recently I used seagulls, which create this feeling of freedom. And I feel like it's kind of like opposite before. I'm not sure if there is any like other artworks of mine available, but there I usually like use crows a lot to create this thing. But recently I realized that like the opposite of crow, like seagull, white bird, which feel like it lives on in the ocean, or like close to the ocean or close to the sea, and it gives off this feeling of freedom. And that's why I put some seagulls here to emphasize this freedom of these characters. Okay. I also like to add small elements to how do I say it? Like here you can see there's a like electric poles in the distance, and they like go here, and I like to add these small elements to draw viewer deeper into the image. Like there's almost like there's a huge world behind this hill. Okay, this is let's kind of wrap previous topics and then go to the tips and tricks. So again, to conclude, the thing is that when you start to drawing something and you're trying to find your emotion you're trying to achieve, when you found it, stick to it, and each step you take while drawing ask yourself, will it bring me closer to the vision I have or further? Then don't ask yourself, will it make like my drawing prettier or more interesting? Because it might ruin the whole thing. Always ask yourself, is it bringing me closer to my vision or further? This is one thing. The second thing, even if it's just a single image, try to ask yourself, like, what is this world? Who are these characters? Why are they here? Why this thing the way it is? It will help you not only to create stuff easier, because you have this world and basically you ask yourself how these characters would behave, or if this world like this, then what would be there, like most logical. And if you follow this idea, like rules of the world, the viewer would feel it. It would feel like a real place. I think it's the main elements and well creating. Then let's go to the technical parts. So I have a question from Remington. What do electric poles usually symbolize in your artworks? Well, there's a few things. I feel like it might mean different things in different artworks, but usually I use poles to create this feeling of distance. Because no, it's hard to say. Like thinking about it right now, I feel like I use it for different reasons. Usually, it depends on image. But why I use poles in the first place? It's because, as I told in a previous stream, I spent my childhood in a countryside, like super rural area, and not whole childhood, but only like summers of my childhood, and there was a lot of this like transformers and electric poles everywhere. And since it was like my safest and happiest times of my life, so this electric poles gives me this feeling of safety and inspiration. That's why I use them. But again, in different image, these poles serve different purpose. Okay, let's go with the tips and tricks. As I said on the previous, I don't know, maybe we can I love Procreate for being able to scroll through your artwork. Well, first of all, I'm not sure if it's useful to anyone, but I will go through the steps. When I have a certain feeling and I'm trying to land on it and crystallize it and realize what I'm feeling and what I want to express through the illustration or any sort of artwork, but in this case illustration, I try to find, like, go from the simple to more detailed elements, and the simplest one I can get is like the color. So that's why I usually just start with the color. I'm trying to create like background color and find which color, as I said it before, brings me closer to my feeling, even though at the beginning I might not be sure exactly what this feeling about, but then picking and dropping colors at some point I would feel like, yeah, this color brings me closer to this feeling, whatever this feeling is, and then I go further and then I like add like the ground. Will it bring me closer or like further, for example? In this case, it goes like this. Okay, so yeah, starting with color and then basic shapes, I think this is the obvious one. What are the next steps? Not like steps, tips. So let's just go one by one. For example, like the cloud. Oh, not the clouds. Let's go with, yeah, let's start with clouds, but also in general, what rule I follow. I follow by the rule. How do I say it in English? It doesn't matter if it looks real or not. If it helps to channel this feeling that you're trying to channel, then it's nice, like it works. So here we have early morning, for example, and the clouds are dark at the bottom but light at the top. It's not realistic because the sun is barely showed up, but it works, creating this feeling of like lightness because it's lighter at the top. That's why it works here. And again, like small stuff here with the like the way the characters shadowed. Since the sun is like barely here, there wouldn't be like this. Let me just. There wouldn't. Oh, sorry. There wouldn't be this contact shadows. Very pronounced because it's very diffuse lighting. But again, it works for us here. As well as this pinkish, like here, pinkish color, which is not very realistic in this case. But yeah, the pinkish sun is here. It somewhat create light here. It's not real, but again, it creates this, like this people sitting in the sunlight. It works. Although, like the general stuff, like this part is lit, and then this part is shadowed. I think it's obvious that some of the elements, even though in some cases, as some people say, the perfection of imperfection. Again. Okay, so what are the, if it's useful to someone, I will show you how I do this clouds, for example. what I do is I'm using this evolve brush. As you can see, if you press it, it's just different. Like it reacts on pressure. So what I usually do, create as simple clouds. This way I just make this let me just maybe it's weird. Oh, okay. For some reason the iPad is showing the just final image, not the... Let me reconnect it. Okay, yes. So, just we'll hop on over some simple tricks. So, clouds. As I said before, I use this evolve brush. And what I do, I just make it like quite huge. And then I start pressing lightly, then press harder, and then again press slightly, basically to create some sort of like cloud. It just really looks like a cloud. Then it is, I really like the bright contrast colors. So for example, what I do usually next, and I create the additional layer and create clipping mask. What clipping mask is, for those who maybe not know this, it is basically a layer which allows you to draw everywhere, although you will see the result only over the part of the layer that is below. So right here you see that where our like clipping mask layer is attached to this layer, so everything that would be drawn here would be visible only when it's crossed over this. For example, if I turn it off and take the yellow thing and I draw like that, as you can see, it's just covering. But if we'll make it clipping mask, we will see only the part that is clipping the layer below. Okay, so usually I do this clipping mask, and then I just again take the same brush. Usually I do in reverse, like drawing the shadow, but who cares? So I create something like that. So basically this is a cloud, and sometimes it works just like that, but sometimes I'll do the I create a duplicate of the same layer, and then I'll take the same brush but for the eraser, and I also make the opacity. And sometimes when we need the partially translucent clouds, so that's why I just like touch it in a few spots, maybe to make it partially translucent. It is, and this one is It is harder without the background. Let me add a background. Kind of like that. So basically what we did here. Sorry if it's, yes, it's this one. Let's find the clouds. Yes, as you can see, this layer is just the clipping mask shadow, and this one is partially erased original form. So okay, this is for the clouds. Sometimes I do, not usually, sometimes I use a similar technique to create trees. But also what I add here is that clouds, they have like lit area and shadowed area. With the trees, I usually go this similar way, but without the translucency, and then instead of creating like light top or dark bottom, I create this area that is lit, as you can see here, and then I create the area that is super unlit. So we have basically three colors, like very dark, which is like the heart of the tree, like deep within the tree, then like the basic tree color, and then this is lit area, and then I just throw random branches and erase them in a random manner so that feel like they're sticking out of this grass thing, leaves, I guess. So it works sometimes like that. Again, with the grass, it really depends on the image. What I do sometimes is, when I create shadow and I do not want to be super detailed about the grass, but I want shadow to be landed on the grass, kinda. So I use, after the shadow is done, as you can see here, I add strokes of light or the same green color just over the shadow to create this feeling that the shadow is kinda submerged into grass. And as well, as you can see here as well. Also, this simple trick that I like to use to, you will see a lot of this stuff at my in my previous artworks. All the electric poles and everything, even in games when I do like level design, I add this grass patches below the any sort of light poles or fences and stuff, because this is the place where people walk least and the grass grow there. So that's why all these legs are covered with grass. Just in case, I'm not sure, probably everyone knows this by now, but it was a huge improvement to my artwork when I realized it and I knew about it. So, thing is, never use black or gray colors to create shadows, or like pure white to create light, because not only it's not like that in real life, but also it creates like somewhat dirty colors. So as you can see here, I usually use and it's not always the correct, but the simple rule, like if you have a warm light, you have cold shadows. If you have a cold light, you have warm shadows. It's not always the case, but it's just a nice starting point. So here we have, and here I have mix of both, which is, as you can see, still works okay. Like we have warm shadows on the clouds, but cold shadows on the ground. It's okay. And as you can see here, there's not a single black color. Even this thing is still like blue. And here like super blue, greenish, pink. This one again is just blue. And again, this is the color pink, and this one is just pinker blue. But usually, again, not always the case, but I'm trying to avoid colors that are in this like dirty area, because it creates this dirty colors. But again, so in some cases it might work, but usually it's not. Okay. Few things that might improve your artworks is it's obvious, but light and shadow. Sometimes you will like look at your artwork and it just doesn't work, and then you create like shadow lines for something, and it just changes completely. So I advise you to play with shadows and not think much about the physics of the shadow, but more how it feels, like how it's supposed to be, to evoke the emotion you're trying to achieve here. Because creating like this light reflections and the shadow usually works really nice. As I talk about it, I just realized very important thing, that to add this I'm not sure how do you call it, like light bounce, it also works really nice. If you have, this is not the best example, but like the way the pink light bouncing of these legs, or the green grass but bounce on this green legs as well, especially in the background legs, which also creates life like into your artwork. And I guess that's it in general. If you have any questions, or maybe, I don't know, ideas or something about the artwork and stuff, we can gladly discuss it in Discord. Or maybe if you have right now, I will gladly answer right now. To answer, CoolWing79 asks, speaking of games, I don't know if you're allowed to answer this, but are you working on any video games? Well, I to put it simply, I'm not allowed to talk about projects that I'm working on. obviously. So, yes. Cannot tell you much. Okay. So, I will upload this image into Discord after I'll finish the stream. And I think we'll create a new voting poll to find out what would be the best stream for the next best stream theme for the next stream. And I also thinking of adding like feedback channel or something, so everyone could just drop messages with feedback, and we can improve everything we do here. So that's it for today. Thanks for joining, and I was really glad to share with you the whole process, and I was having a great time creating this artwork, and I hope everyone feels safe and happy. And I guess that's it. See you in Discord or on the next stream. I see one more question. Stream on modeling and texturing objects. We might cover this, but I think I might become a little bit rusty on the modeling and texturing, because I didn't do this much for recent years, and my knowledge probably is outdated. No, I usually don't do 3D art, only if just like placeholders and anything, but at the moment just kinda never had any need to create 3D art. Okay then. Again, thanks everyone for being here today. It means a lot. I was happy to be here with you as well. So let's chat in Discord, and see you on the next stream. Bye.